If you've been getting ready to purchase a home, you probably already know that having a high credit score is one of the best ways to secure the lowest interest rate possible on your new mortgage. So in today's episode, I'm going to take my own advice and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to increase my credit score by 60 points in just 2 days. If you're a returning subscriber to the show, thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. If this is the first time you're tuning into the show, hi, I'm Josh Alexander, your local Orange County real estate agent, as well as host of Orange County Housing Market News, your one-stop shop for all things real estate. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I come out with new videos every single week to help home buyers and sellers win in today's market. So like I said, on today's episode, we're going to go over exactly how I increased my credit score so quickly, and then we're going to go over 3 different scenarios and how you can practically apply this when you're looking to buy a home. And make sure you stay tuned for the third one because it's a strategy you probably haven't thought about but could end up saving you thousands of dollars when you go to buy a home. So let's go ahead and get into it. So again, if you've been thinking of purchasing a home, odds are you've probably watched videos, read articles on how to increase your credit score so that way you're getting the best rate possible. I've done a bunch of videos around the same topic myself. However, you're always wondering, is that actually going to work? Is it going to increase my credit score? So what I wanted to do was run the experiment with my own credit score to see if these strategies actually do work. And so over the last 3 months, that's exactly what I did. Now, before we go over the details, the one thing that you do have to know is that one of the major ways that credit card bureaus give you that credit score is something called credit card utilization. So basically what that means is how much you have on your credit card compared to what your limit is. So let's say you have $300 on your credit card, you have a limit of $1,000. That means your credit card utilization is at 30%. Okay, so now that you know that information, let's go over exactly what I did. So basically since December, I've slowly allowed my credit card utilization to creep up and up and up. I've been paying my bills on time every month, so I have no late payments. However, I'm letting that credit card utilization go up in December, January, and most of February, and it got to a point where it was around 45% utilization. So typically what the credit bureaus want to see is credit card utilization under 30%. So the lower, the better. It just means that you have more credit available to you and you're not maxing out those cards. So again, mine was at 45%, and in the middle of February, what I did was I took all that money I had set aside and I paid everything off all at once, zero balance on all my credit cards. So not only did that feel great to have my credit cards back at zero again, when I went to places like Credit Karma to look at my score, I was pretty shocked with the results, and I was expecting them to go up, but I was not expecting it to go up so much in such a short period of time. I expected that gradually over a few months, as I was continuing to report a low credit card utilization rate, that my score would slowly go back up, but that's the complete opposite. Basically what it did was overnight, it shot up by 60 points. So my score is at 754 and it shot up to 817 overnight. There was no creep involved. It was just one day it was at 754, the next it was at 817. So this just goes to show you that you don't have to wait months to get your credit score up to be able to purchase a home in some of these cases. Now this is not going to be with every case because there's a lot more that goes into your credit score than just that credit card utilization. But if that's all that's holding your credit score down, then you can have it shoot up very quickly, pretty much overnight, if you take care of that credit card utilization rate. Okay, so now I want to take that information and go over some scenarios in terms of what that would mean for me if I was applying for a mortgage based on having those credit cards paid off and having a higher credit score right now. So first, I want to go over how much I would save on a monthly basis, as well as how much interest I don't have to pay when I get a lower interest rate because of my higher score. Second, we're going to go over what that would mean in terms of increasing my purchase price because I have a lower interest rate. And number 3, I want to give you a more practical and strategic way that you can use this information to help you purchase a home, because I completely understand that most people are not putting money in a savings account and purposely not paying their credit cards off in full. If they have the ability to, most people are paying them off. So I understand what I did was not exactly practical, but I am going to give you a strategy that a lot of buyers use that is a lot more practical, that helps them get that lower interest rate by paying off their cards when it comes time to purchase a home. So first, let's go over exactly how much money I would save by having that lower rate. So first what I did was I talked to one of my lenders to figure out exactly how much I would save on my interest rate by having a score a little bit higher. After looking at my information, they said that I could probably get an interest rate about 1/4% lower than what I would have if I didn't pay those credit cards off. So that's the information we're going to use when we're going over this scenario. Now, to make the numbers easy, let's say I'm trying to purchase an $800,000 home and I'm putting 20% down. Now, side note, because I have to mention this every time I talk about down payment, because it's the #1 myth for home buyers for decades. You don't need 20% down to purchase a home. As long as you have 3 to 5% down, most likely you're going to qualify to get a loan. However, just to make the example easy today, we're going to go with 20% down. And in terms of the payments, we're just going to be looking at principal and interest. We're not looking at taxes and we're not looking at insurance. Again, just to make the numbers simple. So first, let's look at the baseline, what I would be spending if I didn't pay off those credit cards. So let's assume that I got a 6.5% interest rate on that $800,000 home. I'm putting 20% down. My monthly mortgage payment would be $4,045. And in terms of the amount of money I'd spend on interest over the 30 years, it would be $816,460. Now let's go ahead and look at what I would get if it was 6.25, taking that 1/4% off. So my monthly mortgage payment at that point is going to be $3,940, which is $105 less. And the total interest I'm paying on the loan is $779,022, or about $37.5 thousand less in interest over the 30-year span. So you can see by just paying off those credit cards, I'm saving a lot of money, not only monthly, but over the life of the loan as well. And that's a significant savings. Saving over $100 a month on my mortgage means I have that $100 I can spend on going out with my friends, going to Starbucks, whatever I want. $100 a month is a significant savings for just paying off those credit cards. Okay, so now let's go over the second scenario. So let's say that first mortgage payment, which was $4,045, you can afford that. You don't mind paying that, and you want to keep that payment the same. Now, if you drop your interest rate to 6.25, instead of being able to afford an $800,000 home, you can now afford a home that's $821,000. So you basically just increase the amount of home you can afford by $21,000 by paying off those credit cards because you have that lower interest rate. So that's another way to look at it. If the monthly payment isn't as big of an issue for you, but the amount of home you want to afford is more of the issue, having that lower interest rate is going to help you afford a more expensive home as well. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go over the third scenario. And this one by far I think is the most important because it's the most practical and the one that I see happen all the time when great lenders are working with buyers to be strategic about how to use their down payment. So let's go ahead and assume that you're a typical first-time home buyer. So most first-time home buyers are not putting more than 10% down on their home. So now let's go ahead and say you're still trying to buy that $800,000 home, but you have 7% saved up instead of 20%. You still have some credit card debt that you're worried about. It's over that 30% utilization rate, but you want to make sure you're maximizing your down payment and you want all of that to go towards your down payment and nothing else. So you take that full 7%, or in this case, $56,000, and you apply it to your down payment and you have an interest rate of 6.5%. Now, if you do that, your monthly mortgage payment is going to come out to $4,702. And over the life of the loan, you're going to end up spending almost $950,000 in interest. Now, this is where things get interesting. So now let's say instead of putting that full 7% towards your down payment, you take just 1% of that, or $8,000, and use it to pay off some of the credit card debt you have to get that utilization rate to a better spot so your credit score goes up and you're able to secure a loan for 6.25%, or a 1/4 point lower. By doing this, your monthly payments are now going to go down to $4,630, or $72 less every single month, and the total amount of interest you're paying over the life of the loan is just a little bit over $915,000, which means that you're saving almost $35,000 in interest payments over the life of the loan. So you take that $8,000 now, strategically pay off your credit cards, and not only are you getting a lower mortgage payment, but you're saving tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the loan in interest when you do so. So this is why it is so important to make sure that you talk to a high quality lender and real estate agent months before you're ready to buy a home, because getting your credit score up to a point where your interest rates drop can end up saving you so much much extra money. Now, yes, in my case, I was able to increase my score relatively quickly, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it can take a couple months to get that credit score up to a point where your rates drop, so you need to make sure that you're talking to the lender plenty ahead of time so that you have time to be able to build your credit score to where you want it to be so you can get the best interest rate possible for your new mortgage. Are you finding this type of information useful? If so, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button below because I put out a new video like this every single week. And if you have any family or friends that might find this useful, please consider sharing with them as well. I would really appreciate it. And if you have more questions about this or anything else related to the housing market and you want to set up a free 30-minute discovery call where we can answer any questions you have, depending on where you're watching this, look at the comment section, the description, or the link in my bio to set up that 30-minute call for a time that's convenient for you. So thanks again for watching, and until next week, stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye, everybody.